Question answer time with Amrit Vatsa. Three things come to my mind. First is not understanding what brand really means, or underplaying it, or thinking that brand is about branding, which is, as long as you have a color and a logo and a visual look and feel, which can be captured in a brand book, for example. Mistake number two, I think, would be, and it might sometimes work out and might not be a mistake, but I believe that it doesn't make sense when a startup wants to be like some other brand which is not technically from their own category. So we want to be like Apple, and you might personally be a fan of brand X or brand Y, be it Apple, be it Sony, be it Nike, but your particular context might be very different. So trying to be like somebody else without being able to dissect what makes that brand what it is and why did they choose to have this story the way they have been putting out is super critical. And therefore what makes sense in my head is for you to have your own strategy which makes sense to who you are, what your core voice is, who your customers are today and maybe in the future, what your product is today and in the future, and see how the brand that you're thinking about and building is aligned to all of that and not just something that you fancy. And I believe the mistake number three for startups would be to by default assume that brand building only matters at a certain scale. One should care about brand only in certain categories, in certain B2C businesses, etc., because B2B, especially in B2B, there is a lot of misconception about we can sell as long as we have certain value propositions which we take out and at the right price point. And you could do that. If the value proposition is really strong and the way you are doing business or the product that you have is really genuinely unique. But more or less beyond a point, there are other similar products, similar or not, but there are the products which can, from the customer's point of view, can pretty much get the job done around a similar price point. And in fact, the best time to be thinking about building a brand is when your business is happening without the need of a brand, because that is buying you time. And when everybody else, or at least 3 or 4 or 5 different such competitors or alternatives are out there, then what helps you stand out is the brand equity that you have accrued over whatever efforts that you have done over those years when you had the luxury to do that. So I believe to sum up this third mistake is to underplaying the importance that brand could play if you're being smart about it, being strategic about it at the right time, without overspending. Of course, as a startup, you don't want this overspending, but being smart about it and spending some money and understanding that it has a massive implication which can't be bought by money alone. Sometimes it takes time to build that brand, and you have to start doing it from day zero to an extent.